You're listening to WXED 107.3. This is DJ Nikki in the studio with Jonathan Cortez from elwoodcity.org for your weekly news wrap-up. How are you today?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Don't let him lie to you. He is so grumpy today.
Possibly.
He walked in here today and I told him that he has Eeyore syndrome. All right. But no, he's actually not in a bad mood. We've been talking for like 45 minutes without recording, trying to figure out what we're going to talk about. So, all right. So I don't want to lead with the biggest thing that we're going to get into. We'll save that for the middle. So tell me, you said we have some events, some upcoming things we can talk about.
Yeah. Mr. Lincoln is tomorrow at 5 p.m. in the Lincoln High School auditorium, and admission's $5, and that goes to March of Dimes.
Okay, so I've never heard of the Mr. Lincoln thing. You said it's like a talent contest or something?
It's something like that, yeah. It's some kind of show, and it raises money for the March of Dimes. Well, that's awesome for March of Dimes, yeah. Let's see. Oh, how about the front page of the paper yesterday was the beautiful smiling face of Kyrie Beecham. Like, I was drinking my coffee this morning, and I was like, I'm glad there was nobody here because I was all crying. It was so cute. I'm trying to remember the exact name. I think it's called Hutch and Home, and they're down in Beaver Falls, and they had met with her like way before her surgery for her. She had 4 organs transplanted, and they had asked her different things that she liked and all this. So they held off because she was going through that surgery. She was in the hospital for 3 months, and then when she got home, she was home for a day, and her mom sent her off to like go visit a relative. And Kyrie kept saying that she knew something was up because she's a smart kid. And as soon as she walked in the house, her mom says, well, do you remember meeting with the people and talking about your bedroom? And she was like, yeah. And her mom's like, you want to go see it? And she was all excited. So I thought that was so cute. You announced before that Pizza Joe's did a fundraiser kind of thing for Kyrie. And I know that I was out DJing and we did several for Kyrie. So I was really happy to see that she's finally home. And I watched a video on Facebook, and everybody was getting antsy for her to get released from the hospital. And they took her a guitar and a mini amplifier, and they let her just rock out in the hospital. And the little quote says, a tactic for trying to get released from the hospital is give a little girl an amplifier and a guitar. But it was really cute. So now she has a beautiful new bedroom that she can rock out in. I guess it was all filled with Hello Kitty and stuffed animals everywhere. And I was real happy. So, anything else? Any other announcements? Congratulations to 4 Elwood City wrestlers who qualified for the Whippeal competition, and they are Donovan Chambers, Tyler Bard, Carter McMurdo, and Tyler Alberts. And Tyler Alberts won his qualifiers.
Oh, okay.
And he's hoping to qualify for the PIAA as well. And
now, are these younger wrestlers or are these high school students?
High school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's varsity, yeah.
Okay. Well, congratulations out to those guys. Other upcoming events. I can't remember the exact date right now, but Dayspring Gifts on 6th is having a fashion show, and it's really neat because there are no uppity designers. They're actually asking women and girls, and I guess boys too, to come up with their own apparel ideas using recycled clothes or clothes from the thrift shop or clothes that they've made. And so it's kind of like a spotlight on some originality. So they want to see a bunch of like upcycled stuff and everything. So they're asking everybody to volunteer and kind of create their own looks. And then they're going to put on a fashion show. I know it's coming up in May, I believe, but I'm going to have to recheck the date on that and put it out there again. So I think that's going to be fun. I'm going to try to talk my daughter into doing it. When she was young, she said she wanted to be a clothing designer. She used to draw outfits. I even bought her a sewing machine. And then she realized it was work. So as is most things with kids, all of a sudden it was like, oh, really? That's hard. I have another upcoming announcement that we could talk about is, everybody knows that the rigatoni dinner that we did here was an enormous success. Such a success that we ran out of food 3 times. Well, we decided that not just for the aspect of, it was successful to bring money in for the station, but it was nice to sit there and see so many people from the community come together and have dinner together. And it was just, the big open room atmosphere and everybody was talking and it was a nice atmosphere. So we decided we're going to do it again. So coming up on April 2nd, we're actually going to have a soup, salad, and breadsticks kind of dinner. And we're going to have
like 6 or 8 different kinds of soup and chili and stuff like that. And we're going to offer it at the same price as the rigatoni dinner. And we're going to let everybody get 3 bowls so they can try 3 out of the different kinds of soups. Because, I mean, I was talking with Cindy Antonossi, and I said, with there being, 6, 8, 10 different kinds of soups, I know it would be hard for me to choose one, So she said, all right, she said, let's do 3 bowls. So for $8, it's 3 bowls of soup, salad, bread, and a beverage. And we decided that for this one, they can purchase a dessert, if they choose to. So that'll be awesome. And WXCD is also hosting an open house for the station, and that's going to be May 15th. And that's where anybody from the public, they can come in, they can see how everything's working, they can see the studio and get a tour of everything. And so I'm excited about that too. And okay, so let's talk about the big story that we were talking about before we started recording. Okay, I'm going to let you lead with it because I'm probably just going to argue with you. So
Okay, so it's today. I took pictures of St. Agatha like I do every Friday, and at this point it's kind of half demolished, like got a bombing run on it. So
yeah, it does. It looks like it was hit by a bomb.
And I also, I wrote an opinion piece on elwoodcity.org about whether or not I thought it was a good idea to replace it with a CVS, and I disagree with the decision. I thought there's just better uses for the building. It was nice architecture, and it was like culturally valuable to Elwood City. And at least from what I've been reading about with what these small towns are trying to do when they revitalize is to make their downtowns look appealing and show what's unique about it. And so in one, it's a Pittsburgh suburb, Braddock, the mayor of John Fetterman, he moved into the oldest church in the town and lived there for a while because it was about to be destroyed. And then eventually he got enough funds to convert it into a community center. So I'm not sure of all the activities they do there, but I know that it hosts like art galleries, and they also have a summer youth employment program that's centered there. So I thought that was a cool way of preserving a building and making it into something useful, because it can't, it can't just sit indefinitely and not be used. Eventually it deteriorates. So it has to be either destroyed or turned into something. So see if you have
I guess unfortunately, when I say I'm going to argue with you, I won't argue the fact that it was sad to see St. Agatha get torn down. I agree with you on that point. The part that I disagreed with you was the fact that you don't like the fact that they're going to put a CVS there, because who needs a CVS and a Rite Aid right there together? My opinion on that is that the more competition that we have, the consumers will actually benefit from it, because if one store has a special or a sale, the other store will try to outdo it to compete with them. So us as consumers end up paying the lower price because we get the better sales. So that's how the whole competition thing works. And that's the way it's always been. If you have a town with a McDonald's, there's almost always a Burger King. And if you have a town with a KFC, there's almost always a Taco Bell. And then just recently in the last 10 years, they started merging them all together. I've gone to Chippewa and they have, I think KFC and Taco Bell are together. And then in another town, it was Taco Bell and Pizza Hut were together. And so they've been merging all these different franchises together in one building. But I like the idea of there being competition. So it's better, I think, for the economy. And another thing I was saying was I recently heard, totally unconfirmed, but that Rite Aid actually is going to be taken over by Walgreens. So we'll actually end up with a CVS and a Walgreens. And it's been in my experience that Walgreens has exceptional sales. So CVS, being the new dog in town, will probably really compete to try to match those prices. So, and CVS, I'm almost positive, also does coupons. So for somebody like me, if you have a coupon and you have a store that's trying to compete with already good prices, then that just means that I win, So it is sad to see the church get torn down like that. I wish that it had been in a different location, but as it turned out, it wasn't. So, and I don't know all the exact facts about it, but I know that there has to be other people out there who, like me, were just outright mad when it first happened. And part of the reason that I was mad is because I believed that someone had bought it and immediately flipped it for a profit. And then as I was talking to the mayor last week, he told me that that wasn't really how it went down, that the person who bought it really did have intentions on turning it into like a restaurant and put a lot of time and effort and money into trying to make that happen, and it just didn't. So, I mean, there has to come a point where you have to, you have to kind of say, okay, I tried, and then you take whatever option is available to you. So I guess I was less mad when I heard that, So anyway, I guess I didn't argue with you too much, especially since you're kind of a quiet guy to begin with.
Yeah, well, not completely done yet. So.
Okay, well, spill it on me. Go ahead.
Response to that, I agree. Competition is good. That just in theory, that is the principle of capitalism. But it's not necessarily a thing to have in a town with. Well, having corporate competition in a town. I know in some smaller communities, certain areas, they'll designate them that there can't even be any kind of chain business there. So that way only local businesses can be there. And, it does help. While the competition between pharmacy companies helps the economy, overall, it doesn't do anything for Elwood. So the part where that it's on Fifth Street doesn't benefit us. And it's also, it doesn't bring significant jobs to Elwood, or it's not a local business, so the money isn't going into Elwood either.
Well, I'll agree with you there. I only said I was going to argue on some things. I won't argue with you about everything. But I guess, there is still a lot of companies and businesses and smaller local places that are, they're still thriving here in Elwood. And, I talk about it a lot whenever we have Mayor Court come in here. And, like we had mentioned before, La Casano's 100 years have been in business here in Elwood. And it's nice to know that, they survived out. There were other stores, grocery stores. So there was Dom's IGA used to be on the north side. Shop and Save used to be over there, Beaver Avenue.
Yeah, something like that.
Right over there. And, they went out, and La Casano's has maintained their foothold here for 100 years. So, we still have a lot of local. T&M Hardware is another local business that's been in business forever, So I guess I would be probably really upset because for CVS to come in, they're already competing against a giant conglomerate anyway.
Yeah.
It's not like a CVS is coming in across from mom and pop's pharmacy. That would be just devastating. So if a big hardware store like, Ace or something were to come in and try to set up shop near T&M, I am sure that Elwood residents would, come out with flaming torches and pitchforks if they had to, because I believe that Elwood does have a sense of small town, hometown pride. And, but like I said, there was already a pharmaceutical conglomerate right there. So it's not heartbreaking to see another one move in. It's just not.
That one is a good point you did. I yield to that.
Yes.
Point. But
point for you, point for me. But so I mean, all in all, there's nothing that we could do to stop it anyway. So all I can say to everybody in Elwood is enjoy the sale prices. Good luck, CVS. I don't know. I don't think that I brought anything else to talk about today. Do you have anything else you want to mention?
No, that was the wrap up. Yeah.
All right. Well, then there you go. That was your weekly news wrap up from elwoodcity.org with Jonathan Cortez. I'm DJ Nikki. Thanks for listening to WXED 107.3.